independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. Welcome, welcome. If this is your first time here, I really appreciate you guys stopping by. And if you've been here before, I am so glad for your support. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you do, it would help me immensely if you give it a thumbs up. And if you really like this video and the rest of the videos, then you may want to subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have uploaded a video. I think that eventually I will get the courage enough to maybe make a live, but I make far too many mistakes, I think, and I get too nervous. So going back to the important stuff, today is a great day because I am having a giveaway. It's giveaway day, I guess, and I am super excited because this is a set from last year celebration. Let me see, I can show it here better. It is called Counting Sheep, and it has this beautiful 3 sheep. Okay, there we go. My hands are on it. And 2 sentiments. Now, what I like about these set is that they, at Celebration, also gave away the dies. So you have in the dies a balloon, like a little fans, of course the dies for the cheap, and this is what I am going to be giving away. So I'm super excited. All you need to do to get into the list for the giveaway is comment and share the video, and that way you'll be part of the giveaway. Now I will mention the winner next week, but I will also try to reach out somehow through YouTube. I'll figure out how to reach out. So with that said, let's go to the crafting table. Okay, give me 1 second. There we go. I'm sorry for my reach. So we are going to work today with the Give It a Whirl dies from our annual catalog, and you can find that one in page 163. And this Give It a Whirl die is super cute, and it's to make interactive cards, and I am like a kid at heart. I think I've said that many times, and I really enjoy the possibility of playing with your cards. And here's the die using let me see, let me put it up here. Here's the idea of the dies using the stellar birthday. So all you will do is move these little piece, and then you'll have different things popping up in the card. Like in this case, I don't know if you can see it, you will have the rocket, you have the planets, and then the dog. Okay, so I am going to give you a couple tips and through the class, of course, of what has worked for me. We are all very different, and things that work for me may not work for you, but I do hope that my suggestions and my ideas will work for you. So the first thing we're going to do for this card, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, is, let me bring the dice here. These are the dice. So the original dice had a strip around here that had a hole, okay? And that is in order to place your other die like this, right? And so you will always know where to place this and move it around. If you want to do it here, you can play with this however you want, okay? And we have, let me show you this. I really like this. They have 4 different options. They have a heart, which we'll be using today. They have this little window, just a rectangle, and the circle, which I do like very much. Okay, so this is how it was. Now, I did not like 2 things. The first one is when you run the set through the embossing machine, through the die cutting machine, these would leave a hole here, and I didn't like that. Honestly, I didn't. And the whole little bar that was across, that I am kind of faking here with this washi tape, also left like a super strong mark on the card. And so it really, I felt it really kind of offset. I didn't like it, bottom line. I didn't like it because you could see it. I didn't like the idea of having the hole in the card, because then you had, I mean, of course you can get super creative and you can put little, I don't know, something different. Like I'm seeing one of the cards I have here, which is for Valentine's. So you could put like a little heart. You could put sequin. You can put some of our crystals. Any of that would look great. Just to, you know, so to put on top of that hole. I just didn't like it, right? So I cut this, and I cut, sounds like I did it. I asked my husband that it's very handy, and he cut it for me. He actually left like perfect, no nothing. I did create this as a guide, so when I run my, and this is how I did it. So when I run my die and I want to put it somewhere specific, I can use my take your pick, put it there, because right, whatever I want it, and then just put some tape to hold it. Okay, so like in this case, we are probably going to make, and I have it already cut, this one, but I just wanted to show you, we are probably going to put this one somewhere around here. Okay, and actually, now that I recall, I have to do this underneath. Most of the time I put the sentiment, or oops, sorry, I always put this stuff like up here, so it doesn't make a whole lot, but I have to put underneath so it doesn't cut my little fixing here. But no matter what, you just put it there and get it more or less what it needs, and there you go. See, so that's my solution for that. You can do it however you want it, of course. There's nothing that says that it has to be my way, but again, I just didn't prefer that. Okay, and I am going to die cut this super quick now, since I have, okay, I think I want it a little bit higher here. Since we're talking about this, I'm gonna just go ahead and cut it right now. I think I want it right there. Okay, here we go. So we have our little circle there, and we have this. Perfect. Okay, so my idea for this card is a sync card. We will be using just a regular A2 card and our Bermuda Bay, and it's 5.5 by 8.25. It's scored in the middle. And then I got this one from our Happy Rainbows. I forget the name, the rainbows. Let me bring the catalog so I don't confuse you. I got this paper for free. Loving this paper. It's called Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper. Super happy you will get it for free if you buy $50. So I got these from there, and this is just an 1/8 smaller than the base. Okay, so let's start super quick putting that in place. For those of you, I think I want it this way. For those of you that have been, sorry, I don't want to mess this up. The note that I just recently bought my silicone craft sheet. It's terrible how hard it is to change your bad habits, right? Okay, so I'm just giving it a good burnish there so it stays there. And so on top of this, we're going to put these, which is the vase, and we'll work together with the mechanism, which is not super complicated. Okay, and that's how it would look. And the whole idea is creating kind of a farm scene with the Peekaboo farm, and this one is also in our annual catalog. I just love these little peekaboo animals. We have something similar with the for the mini catalog last year, and I just love that it was a dog and a cat, and I actually used those for one of the cards I'm going to show you later. Okay, so for this one, I already have some of them colored because it takes a lot of time, we'll know that, but I'm going to use this one here, and let me grab okay, let me move my stuff here so we don't lose. And here we go. We're going to grab this one, and we are going to use our Stamparatus. And here's that magic machine. Oh my God, do I love this. And I love it because you can absolutely stamp several things at the same time. And that is definitely a huge helper. This come with this set with the Stamparatus, these magnets. They are pretty awesome, I have to say. They are very strong, so be mindful of that. And since we have this here, we're going to also, where are you? Here. Also get this friend going. Okay, so we're going to stamp these two. We're going to paint them real quick or color them real quick. And okay, if you notice, this one is a little thicker than the other, so I am going to ink one first and then go. Now, I saw this from Lisa Crucio a while ago. Okay, this is a little messy here. I was using some of that washi tape and it's moving all over. I hate when it moves. But anyways, sorry about that. If you put the stamp box underneath the Stamparatus, you will be able to have it straight, much easier to use. Okay, so I'm going to use our Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm going to stamp our little Jeep first. Okay, one of the reasons I love the Stamparatus is because if something messes up, you are able to try to stamp again, and that is very important. And it's very important, especially for me, because I tend to, for some reason, not to stamp correctly. Okay, let me move my stuff a little bit here. There we go, much better. Okay. And this is a brand new set, and so see, like that, we are now able to go ahead and stamp it again. Let me make sure it's all well defined, and I think we made it. There you go, perfect stamp, huh? I love my Stamparatus. I cannot tell you guys how much I like it. I have been thinking actually that I may want another one of those, and I'm not sure if I'm going to need it, but since we're in here, might as well get it going, right? So let me see. I don't want to stamp on the top of the poor Jeep, so let's turn it around, put one there. There we go. Okay, super easy. Especially if you're kind of a beginner and you fear that your stamp's not going to come correctly, which happens. I have to say, I'm not a super experienced crafter. Oh, that one moved. You see how it moved? And that's totally my fault because I did not have enough oops. Okay, I can try to use, not gonna happen. Okay, let me get another little piece of paper, and I always have scraps around of white paper that I'm going to use because I know that eventually they're going to be needed. Okay, these are very, very hard. Try not to get them. That's why I got these dollar store. It's the washi tape. And I had it for a while, but I really like it. Okay, let's see. Oops, look at that. I see a corner here, not. Okay, let's see. There we go. Better. Okay, so we are going to color these. Let me move this to the chamois so it gets cleaned. We don't want it to get bad. Put this Stampin'Up away. Let's move my friend here. And we're going to color this super quick. And I'm going to show you something super fun with that one. Let's do... So we are going to use Copics in the W, so warm grays. I've mentioned this before in my channel, although I would love to have, to be able to have all the alcohol blends from Stampin' Up. I just have not been able to start that collection yet. So the first way I do, the thing I do with Copics or alcohol blending markets is to use the lightest shade. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of focus here. Let me see if I move this. I think that's a little better, right? Okay. Use your lightest shade and then use the darkest shade to put it wherever it makes sense that there will be some darker spots, right? So for example, there, or right here underneath the ear. These we're marking because it shows where the wool is at. And so, and then I'm using the rest, the other, a middle color, because Copics have a whole lot more of that in that sense. So I have the 0, the 1, and the 3. And so now I'm using the 1 to kind of go over, right, over the darker one, and to create, you see, some other colors here to start that blending. And that's what we're doing now. We're going to start the blending. Now, this is really, I am really doing this because I liked color, I think, but in the end, we are going to cover this, and super cool. I've had this for a few years now, and I rediscovered while I was working with this really cute idea. It is called Snowmaker. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I loved it. So there we have our cheap, which again I am not really going to get too much into because we are going to pretty much cover it with, and I am just using the darkest one of the warm grays. We're going to cover it with that Snowmaker, and it's going to look almost like a real cheap with its super with tons of wool. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to go here a little bit, and okay. Okay, so let me see. This is what I was talking about. It's called a snow marker, not maker, sorry. Ha. And so these, oh no, we have to cut this front first. Let's run it through our embossing machine. I am just placing the die with the cheap and using post-it tape to hold it in place. Guys, I love the post-it tape. You can get it in Amazon. I have a link to the one I use, which is just whichever is cheaper in Amazon, really, and it works wonderfully. I'll be right back. Here we are back with our little cheap, completely die cut. I do love our dies. They are very good quality, and I love our embossing machine, which it's really good. And on top of that, you're able to fold it in two if you want to carry it. And now I am getting a hold of my tweezers, so I can hold a little cheap when I am embossing, heat embossing it. It's not embossing really when I am heating the chemical from the snow marker. Um, so I have had this marker for a very long time, and you will see here that it sometimes does not work as it should, maybe because it's this old. So let me clean these up quick. It just looked a little um, translucent, and I know it does not need to be like that. I am just putting it all over my cheap, which and just creating little blobs here and there. So what you do is you push it, and it lets the product come off. As you can see, it lets a lot of it come off, right? And so have to be a little careful when you're using it as to not create a big blob. And hopefully this works. Okay, so I'm going to grab my friend here from the face. And I'm sorry I'm doing this way. Okay, there he is. She is. Here is our heating tool. And let's hope this works well. I did one and it worked fairly okay. And I really like it. So I know this is very, very loud. I'm going to do it from behind a little bit so it does not get burnt. No matter what, it can get burnt. So it will keep like a little kind of coffee brownish, not coffee, brownish color. That's a bad translation thing. I'm sorry. Okay, so now isn't that super cool? I really think it is. Okay, so we have our friend here ready to rock and roll. We're gonna put it aside for a minute. Let's move that, and now we are going to work on these. And I'm doing the coloring first, sorry, because I think it's just a little bit easier. And we're going to color this one with same Copics. Again, I am sorry I don't have others. Just super quick. This is just like a little wall. So going back to the same idea as we talked before, lightest first. And since this is such a big area, I am just using my biggest tip here in color. And now we'll go with the darker one, and this one is N4, and we are going to go through here. And I am not coloring all, I'm just going through places, okay? Here and there, really, that's what I'm doing. Not a whole lot. And now we're gonna come with N2 and we're going to blend it, okay? And you don't have to be extremely careful because in the end, these are rocks technically. So this little wall are rocks, and so really you don't need a whole lot of, I mean, if you see a wall like this created, it's not going to be perfectly colored, right? So now I am just going to use the darker one to go and create around one side, just like so. And I'm doing it all at the same time. Okay. Okay. And we're going to go with the number 2 and blend it. And again, super easy because it doesn't matter if you know you color outside. That is funny, huh? we always try to color inside and make very, be very careful. This is one that it's not necessary to be that careful, just because the whole wall will look more or less the same, right? Okay. Very simple coloring, not a whole lot of shading. There's no need for that. Like I said, it's rocks, so it will it's not a perfect, it won't look perfect, right? Not in the real world anyways. So it cannot be perfect here either, or it doesn't have to. If you're much of a coloring artist, be my guest. I am just not very good at the coloring piece, so I will take an opportunity when the coloring is simple. Haha. Okay, so, and you know what? I'm going to use the chisel again, the big one. So much simpler. Okay. And if you work with alcohol blenders or alcohol markers, you know that you will get this perfect look, even if you're not a master artist. Okay, so I am going to cut these real quick. Or fussy cut it, how it's called. I am also not a good cutter, just letting you guys know, disclaimer. But there's nothing wrong with learning and practicing. So now that we have it all there, I can see, and this is number 2. Let me get this one. I can see some areas that I would like to get all together, all very blended, and so, or blended better. So there you go. Okay, now we have these 2 pieces that go on top. These 2 pieces are going to be our grass / mountain. This seems to be very high, so I'll have to cut it a little bit, or maybe I can just put one. Let me see, 1 second. I think that will look good. So we don't need this one, thankfully. We're going to adhere this one to that because it does not need, let me see if I'm saying this right. Oh, before, see? I forget what I thought about this. So this looks nice, well cut, but I do like to use my blending brushes, and I love to blend. And so this is already some green. You don't need a whole lot of working here. It's just to give it a little bit of dimension, right? So there it goes. Now that one is going to be here, right? That little wall. So I'm going to create more of a darker spot in here. Sort of, mostly, let's say that we're creating a shadow. Okay, maybe a little bit more there. Okay, now that we worked on it, and this is the Granny Apple Green, the cardstock, but I'm using Garden Green for my blending. Okay, so now we can get this going. And by the way, peeps, that's about to die. No, see, another mistake almost. But I do have my craft sheet, my silicone sheet somewhere, hopefully. So we can put this here. Haha, love that. Let's turn this around for 1 minute. And we're going to turn it around because I'm going to do the sky. And for this sky, I'm going to use, and I think I've shown it to you in the past, and I think it's super useful. So of course that, we have those dies and we can use them to cut, but I've created a few stencils So here's the stencil I'm going to be using. I made this stencil with just mylar paper, and it will be linked all in the description below. And our die, and this die is from Basic Borders. Not that one, just kidding, this one. So I just run it through our cutting machine, and that's how I got my stencil. Okay, super useful. That way you don't have to, if you don't want to put the actual die on it. Okay, so we are going to use for this one Pool Party, and I really like Pool Party for the sky. I definitely have a thing for it. And let me put this, see, that's how things get lost. I'm going to put this in here so it gets a hold of it, and then we'll just go up with our stencil, and that way we create some depth to the clouds. I really like this. Now I am going to do something similar with the piece that goes in the inside. You'll see here in a second. Super easy, right? And you can get creative as to where those clouds are going to be. Okay, and so forth. I really like this the sky set. Okay, and we're going to do one last one there, and I'm making that a little darker. Okay, and again, this is not a perfect sky. There's no perfect sky out there, so just be mindful. One of the advantages, of course, of having a stencil like this is that you can just wet your little towel, and I have just this rag here to clean, but you know, boom, your stencil is completely clean. Okay, so there we go. Now we can glue these. Okay. And by the way, what I did to make this little mountain, let's call it that way, I used from the same set of Basic Borders. I cut it, right? I cut a piece, and then I used the same from the die, so the same die here, right? To cut it that way, we have the exact measurements, and we have the stitch side. And I don't know if you can really see it there. Let me try to move this a little bit further here. Maybe better. Okay. Let me move this up here. So can you see? So you have this stitch border all over, and I like that. So it has continuity. So this is our panel that's going to go in here eventually. Okay, now it's time to start building our mechanism. Oh, this is the try I did yesterday. Haha, there she is. I thought I had thrown it away. So we are going to put our beautiful friend here, right? And we're going to put, and these are our friends. We have a piggy, we have a cow. I have some extra clouds that I want to put on there, but let's focus on this for a moment. Okay, so the goal will be that our friends are showing up here, right? When you move them, and one of the sides is going to have a stamp, just from the Peekaboo Farm. It has the hey hello there, and I really like it, so that's what we're going to put. Okay, so let's start with the mechanism and why I have that. So this is a piece of acetate from where the stamps come. Um, and I just die cut it using the same piece from the Cubitus roll die. Okay, and these will prevent or will help me get that these friends do not get stick. Okay, so what I guess I'm not explaining this very well. What I'm trying to say is the pig is separate, of course. I die cut it, I not die cut it, I fussy cut it, and I'm gonna put it here. When this goes around in the regular mechanism, we suffer the possibility that it's going to get stuck. So when it runs, it's just going to get stuck and it's not going to go. So the mechanism won't work. If we put this screen, this piece of acetate on top, it will just make it smooth and the mechanism will run perfectly. Okay, so that is what this is for. We're going to run this in a minute. Before we go any further, since this, what we're going to be seeing technically is these friends popping up here, right? Kind of like that, or like that. And so they're going to be, the back needs to be, to have the same clouds logically, right? We're trying to make it look logically. So we are going to use the same stencil and do this super quick, okay? And it does not need to be perfect, of course, but it's just so it keeps continuity in the scene. So, and I don't know if you've had this die, you probably know already. It has well-defined marks, but I'm just going to go all over. Actually, I need to be mindful that this wheel is turning, so I cannot put the sky in the same, all in this, like let's say in a line. They have to be specific to each portion of the wheel. Otherwise, you'll have the sky looking kind of backwards, right? And we don't want that. We want to try to make it match our other part of the card as much as possible. I'm just going to use the template then, same as we did before with the front of the card, and make sure that we get it all over. I am not going to make you watch me doing this guys again, so I'm just going to cut this super quick and I'll be right back when it's done. And we're done creating the background for our wheel, our cloud background. So the whole goal here is that when we put our animals, our pig and our cow, the background, the clouds will match more or less the clouds in the front of the panel. And that is hard because this is a wheel, of course, and so it's not going to be an easy fit and it's not going to be perfect, but at least we are trying to make it look as much as possible as if it were the same background. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Of course, it may be easy if you just don't ink the back. Whatever works for you works. I did create some stencils to help me with stamping in the wheel. I have to say, I had one of my other cards I really, really tried, and I made so many mistakes that I figured I needed something different. And I am using the clear acetate that comes with the stamps again. I just created, use the dies to create different stencils and make it simpler for me to stamp and know exactly where do I have a stamp in the wheel. It's just much easier. In other words, I'm just making it simpler for me because I tend to make many mistakes, or well, at least just what happened with one of the cards I made. I just couldn't place it correctly, so I figured I needed something to help me out. I created one for each of the dies that come with the set, and I made them, like I said, out of clear acetate for two reasons. One, I can see exactly where that circle is going to be within the wheel, right? And B, if I am using a bigger stamp and it's going to go over the circle, over all over the wheel, then I can just stamp exactly what I want without being concerned that it's going to mess the rest. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to show you that. So we're going to put this one here. I think I want the cow in this one that is a little bit messier in this one. So I'm using these, I'm putting like that. So they're both together, right? They don't move again. And we're going to use our hello there. I'm going to take one of our, and I am thinking actually that I can put the hello there. See, perfect. Okay. There it goes. I'm just trying to decide what color, but I'm thinking I'm going to use the Bermuda. And just let me see. No, I don't like the Bermuda. Just kidding. I'm going to use black. I think let's stick to black today. Okay. So because I have these, it's a guide, and I know that where I need to stamp. My guide is moving, but so we're going to give it there, hold it well. Now you calculate the middle and boom. Super easy, isn't it? That super easy. And I came up with this because let me tell you, I'll show you one of the cards here later. And I don't know how many times I actually went through trying to get the image I wanted in there without making a mess or getting not in the center or whatnot and whatnot. So this is perfectly centered. Of course, this is not as necessary when you have die cuts, or not die cuts, when you have one of these, because then you know that you put the image wherever you need it, right? So in this case, we're going to need to cut our friend here, but I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to calculate where I want this, and I think it's right there. Okay, so I know, let me bring a pen. I'm going to mark it this way, and actually I just thought of something. I'm going to mark it a little bit there, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it, right? Okay, so our little cow is going to go in here. Now these hooves, and put them on top of here. Okay, like here, just the hooves, so it looks like they are popping up from the wall. So I am going to get our Stampin' Seal Plus, which is really one of the best adhesives I've used in the past. I really recommend it, guys, for any project. It works wonderful. Here. And let me make sure one thing. So this goes here. Okay, just making sure I'm putting them where they need to be, right? So this goes here. There is a mark. I don't know if you can see it. There's a mark that the die left, the round die, and I'm just going to grab whichever die, but they have these, and this mark, this leaves some little mark, and we are going to absolutely use that to just kind of calculate where this has to go, right? Because what this means is that we have to put our cow this way. Okay, this way means that like this. And so we are going to get back in here with this friend. Okay, so this cow needs to be here. Okay. And the piggy will do the same thing. put this here, put this one here, right? Kind of just to calculate. And then we'll put the piggy here. We're going to do the same thing with our piggy. And we're going to get him here. So when it comes, it's still looking down, okay? Let's get our friend. Okay, so there we go. We have our wheel ready and decorated, and it looks beautiful. So now it's time to work on the mechanism. Let me get a little brad that we're going to need for this mechanism. And Stampin' Up! Has their own brads, so I'll link them below. I am looking now for my wheel, my acetate wheel that is lost. Found it. And this is going to be the first layer. The second layer will be the colored wheel, let's call it that. And now I'm going to use a circle that I had, it's a leftover from the panel, the front panel. And we are going to punch a hole in the middle. Okay, and then we'll attach it to the or behind the colored wheel. Okay, and we are going to put in this little circle, we are going to put the dimensionals to attach to the base. So this is how it's going to look. Our friend comes here. Now we are going to put this in here, and I think actually it looks like this. And we're going to put some of the hoops here, and I'm just going to cut them completely, right? So, and then we'll put them in the little wall. Okay, I got one, and we got the other one. Okay. So now it's time to figure out exactly where that wall is going to go, and to do that I need to put my wheel in place in order to really make sure how to place this wall. And I am using that tape a little bit just to help me really place the cow correctly and to figure out where I want the wool. And it's taking me a little bit of time. I guess I am too much of a perfectionist sometimes and forget that this is crafting and this is also for fun. Um, so here I go. I'm playing with my wool to figure out where I want it. And this is where we're going to put the hooves. And I'm just obviously using one of the hooves. And these are the cow's hooves. Oops, sorry. Because I can't obviously interchange them. So we're just going to put one and that will do. And that's what I'm trying to do is figure out where exactly they need to go in order for the whole scene to make sense. So I am placing it here. I think the wall needs to go exactly where it is right now, more or less. A little cricket to help with the inclination of the wheel when it's turning. Trying to create a little bit more of a realistic look. And I am sorry for my dog who's just in the back making noises. So this is where we place our hooves, and that's where we're going to put our wall. I hope that makes sense to you guys. It really looks super cute now that I see it in action. Again, I am such a perfectionist. I keep playing with it to try to figure out where would be the best placement for this wall. I think that will do. Okay, so that's where we want our little wall, and I am going to make a little mark that way, and we are going to put this up on dimensionals. Okay, so let me throw trash. I'm just gonna put a couple of them, one in the middle. Okay. I love this dimensional. I love Stampin' Up! Dimensionals because they really work wonderful. A and B, they're super easy to take the backs off. Okay, that was it. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Our little cheap. Did I mention that's how you lose stuff? Yes, that is. It's going to come here. And it can be a little bit off because we have extra, right? Remember that this is a card base, so this is going to go here, and it can be off. It does not matter, because I don't want it on top of on top. Okay, so let's put our little cheap in here. Actually, I can put it like this. I think it needs to be high, you know? So we're going to use dimensionals for our little cheap. But we are going to do, we're going to put double dimensionals. Maybe that'll be too extreme. Let's see how it looks. No, it's not needed. That will do. Okay, that'll do. Perfect. So let's go with these pieces now. And we're going to adhere this to here. So we're going to put dimensionals here. And we can put some of the big ones. And again, I really like Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. They are, so I've been crafting for a long while now, really. And I have had dimensionals from other places, from Amazon, from other companies. There's plenty of companies that sells their own brand, if you want to call it. But none of them are as high as this one, or maybe I have not been lucky, but you see they have like maybe an eighth of an inch thick, and it really makes the popping pop if you want. So we're going to make this, what I do is I just put it together, right, like this, so it does not move. This needs to go here, we all know, and put it together, and then calculate there with our base. So these, all we're putting is this one, right? So there we go. It is a simple mechanism to put together. Now it's time to put our panel, our front panel, and I am using foam strips for this one. You can use dimensionals if you want. As you can see, I've even used the part of the dimensionals that's straight, just so there's there's no waste in this craft room. And but I am going to use these strips because it gives us a like a better, it's easier to put, and it gives us a better look altogether. I am bringing now another stencil I made, and I made these from the wheel. I cut an extra piece of the wheel with some cheap cardstock I had floating in the craft room. So it helps me find out where I can put those dimensionals or those strips or foam strips. Just because we can't put in any place that it will interfere with the wheel turning. So I just make this to make it easier on me, put a little um, post-it tape on it and work with it. I am using these strips because it just gives a much more tailored look, I think. And with the wheel there, I know exactly where I have to put them. I love, like I mentioned before, and many times, our dimensionals and our foam strips, and we even have like full foam sheets, which are super useful for certain type of projects. As you can see, using the stencil makes it so much easier to know where these strips need to be located and not interfere with the turning of the wheel. I really hope these tips help you with your crafting. And this is really useful when you're making a few. The first one that I made, I did struggle trying to find a correct placement for the foam strip slash dimensionals, and so I do hope that this helps. Like I said before, I do like the fact of using the strips, because if you're able to see the card from the top, like right, like looking into it, you will not see little pieces, you will just see a whole strip, and it just gives it a more professional look. Much better. You kind of will see what I'm saying here. I'm going to put a little bit strip here so you don't have that, you don't see that just discontinue pieces, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Hope that makes sense. And of course a full strip would have been better here, like I did in the other part of the card, but oh well. And this one does not want to stay there, so let's try to get it out somewhere different. There it goes. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That's why I keep this one here, and that way, oh, I forgot to put this. Oops. We have to put one here. And I think it needs to be smaller. There. Bottom line, wherever you put your dimensionals needs not to bother the wheel, and that's why I have this one, so it's easier for me to calculate. And now all you have to do is put this back in here, and you have the mark that had been left by the die. That's a guy, and then you just because we have the brad in here, it's easy to like feel it, right? And now you just put it, you just try to organize it the way you want it, center it up and down and whatnot, and there you have it. Isn't that funny? So this is a great tip if you have acetates from your stamps. Don't throw them away, right? We all tend to throw things away. Don't throw them away, because you can use it for stencils and for stuff like this that will work. So this is one, and don't forget these stencils that I made too. Very simple, so you can stamp whatever, and I'll show you here my other cards so you know what I mean. I do have still some of the clouds that came with the die, and I want to put maybe one or two. Let's see. One, and there's another one, and I think I'm gonna, whoops, there we go. Guys, I don't know what I did with my, there we go, with my take your pick. If you guys would be able to see the mess I have here, I don't know how I don't lose more stuff more often. It's just ridiculously messy all the time. So again, don't forget to have one of these there with your, and let me show you, I just have it all here, right? So everything is where I need it, and I don't have to go looking for it. But in here you can see I have all my all the dies and all the stuff I'm going to need with them. I'm just trying to get this through, and this one does not belong to this. I'm not sure what it's doing there, but it's there. So all the stencils I made, I have them here, right? I'm missing one, probably underneath here. I don't see it. So I have these here. I have the little die cut from the wheel, so I know where to put my my dimensionals when I'm using it. And then here's the other one. And I have these two just because this one had the original with the hole. So if I feel I'm not confident, I know that this one has the actual hole. So if later on I need to recreate it or whatever, I have it there if this messes up. My little fixie from fixer-upper from washi tape. I know it's not very professional, but it really works well, and I did not like the strip it left. So there it is. What do you guys think? Oh my god. There. Isn't it cute? Super, super simple make. I think we need to put some extra bling in here. I think I like these. These are green. Did I mention I lost my take your pick? Okay. I think I like these green ones. Let's see. Where would we put them? I think I want them up here. So maybe not those. Maybe these are the soft succulent ones. And oops, I lost it. That's not cool, Maria. Okay, maybe one here. Maybe one there. And oops, they're fighting me. Okay, I give up. And maybe one up here, just to put some extra decoration. How about that? I think it looks good now. Okay. So this is the first one I did. Let me show you the rest of them. Put that away. So I made this one for Valentine's Day, and this is using the nuts and bolts, using the heart and the Sweet Conversations designer series paper. Okay, and I also I decorated this one in the inside. I usually don't because I'm not sure exactly who I'm going to send some of these cards, but this is very specific. And this is the one I was telling you. That's how I created this, because I was having such a hard time putting stamping this head there. It was ridiculous. The other thing, I don't know if you can see it, but this is shiny. Can you see it? Oops. Maybe. Yeah, so I did use our shimmery crystal effect. So first I wink of Stella on it and on these 3 hearts. I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe you can't. And then I put the crystal effect on it, and it looks so shiny. There you go. I really like that. I think it looks wonderful that way. Now this is the Christmas one I made. I know, we just went over Christmas, but I really like it. And that's what these are the ones I was telling you that had the dogs. That is a dog and a hamster and a cat. It has the same acetate here. If you see, this one does not have acetate because it doesn't need it. Everything is stamped in the wheel, but this one does, same as this one, because we have the animals fussy cut in there. And finally, this is the first one I did. It's just a happy birthday one. If you don't know what this is the tree from Nature's Beauty. Let me see. I thought it was so funny. So I do not have, I think it's coming, any ocean things in my craft room. So you have to get creative. So I use these die and this die and the stamp. This is the stamp and here's the die, and so it just works wonderful. I just wanted a pop of orange and red. And it just looks so cute. Now the background I did myself with the stamps and just sprinkling water over it, same as this. I just did myself, okay? And this is also a die cut from another collection You have to be creative, and this one has nothing yet because not sure where I'm going to send it. So four different options, all for give it a whirl. Let's see. Let me know which one you like. I love this one. It's so cute. I really like this idea though, and so I think it looks really cute. And there's our cow, and I'm thinking it needs something here. So we have actually hello there. As it is now, I like it, and it has some glue there because why not? There you go. Can you see the glue? How frustrating that is. That's why I don't work with glue often, because I always mess it up. And so what we do in those cases, or I do, because I'm kind of a, I take, no, that one is really well stuck, so let's not damage it. I'm gonna take a bigger one, making statement. And guess what? Glue is gone. See? Haha. Okay, so I hope you like it, and I hope you like all of them. This no marker, I'll have it linked down below, same as everything, but so you know, it's just gonna look there, and I just see the ears pop up here. Oh well, not much we can do about that, right? So the card looks great on its own. All the dimensions will be down below, but as you know, this is a very simple card in the end. It's just uh, 8.5 by 5.5, sorry, scored in half. Now I made the Christmas card. I know it's funny, but I do think that if I start making Christmas cards now every so often, I will have way less to make at the end of the year, right? And I do love those dogs and cats. So here we are. There are four of them. Please let me know which ones you like better in the comments below. And if you need any, extra information on the cards, on Stampin' Up, or on any of the other non-Stampin' Up products that are linked below. Also, if you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, do send me an email to Maria at Maria Crafting Corner, Maria's Crafting Corner, and we can talk about the many benefits of being a demonstrator, which starts with getting 20% off from your purchases. So Stampin' Up gives you the opportunity to get some discount. You can also start your own business if it's what you want, and there's tons of support in that area, or just get the discount and be a happy crafter. Now, through celebration, if you host an event, you're able to get the Calming Camellia stamp set. Let me know if you're interested. We can do classes via Zoom if that's something that you would like. And if you don't have a demonstrator, just let me know and I can send you the catalog. Don't forget to comment and share this video to be part of that um, giveaway. And as always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more videos from me. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful day.